Welcome to this special bonus episode of Revamped, where we had the pleasure of speaking with Frank Bonacci, former co-host of the SLAYIN IT podcast, just before diving into our coverage of the Buffy episode Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. The three of us had gotten together to record and realized after 2 hours of just sitting around talking about all of this, we needed more time to just do the episodes. So in this bonus episode, Courtney and I discuss Frank's experience with the SLAYIN IT podcast, the evolution it underwent, and the challenges faced leading up to its conclusion. Its unfortunate end. We also explore how our journeys became intertwined throughout the process, and it was a good opportunity to voice and address the issues that arose on both sides and to hear Frank's perspectives alongside our own. So without further ado, here's what we discussed together. So I know I mentioned it last episode that we had Frank coming on to join us. So I'm going to officially just ring this motherfucker in. We have Frank Bonacci, former co-host of SLAYIN IT, and obviously not doing that anymore because of all the things.
Yeah.
But welcome to Revamp officially.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. We've been talking about this for a while, since January, and I'm glad we're finally doing this. I just want to take this time to say, hey, sorry I inadvertently made a toxic, delusional narcissist steal the title of your show that one time.
I didn't think of that, and also fuck off for that. Kindly and respectfully.
Sorry.
It's not your fault. It's her fault.
It made me feel better. It cost me dearly.
I think you dodged
my
the bullet.
sanity as well as my physical health.
Yeah, because honestly, didn't you get hospitalized a week or two after?
Yeah, my health literally collapsed. I was hospitalized with acute pancreatitis. I was in the ICU for 7 days.
Oh.
I had to have a full plasma phasia, which is where they had to remove all the plasma from my body and cycle it with new plasma. My parents flew up from Florida so I could say goodbye to them. It was literally that kind of party.
God.
Yeah,
oh my
literally.
God.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
So relatively not as bad as working with Juliet Landau. I mean, a little bit. Yeah, it's gonna be that kind of party.
Dead.
No, I feel like I welcome it.
I don't care. When I was a kid, I'm probably dating myself. There was 2 Ghostbusters cartoon shows. There was the Ghostbusters and then the Real Ghostbusters. And the Real Ghostbusters was the better of the shows. This is the Real Ghostbusters, the one show I'm on.
There you go. That makes sense.
We got.
I was like, where's this analogy going?
Wink, wink.
We're the Real Ghostbusters.
But I was going to say, you invited me on your show, and even though it was a ways away, you said, was there an episode you wanted to talk about? And this episode was the first one that came to mind. Because it's I was thinking well, who knows if I'll ever talk about Buffy in a podcast ever again. And by the way, dude, why are you going through the show so fast? You started in September and you're already through season 2. You should be putting half episodes up and interviews that are 2 hours long, and there's only 3 questions about Buffy. What are you doing? Then little sketches where you're just disassociating in front of a microphone.
Courtney does not follow anything of her stuff, but that's what she does. She takes 8 months to put out one episode, and usually it's in parts, and then does all these other interviews and things in between and stuff like that. So the fans are really wanting her content to come out, and she's not providing the correct content half the time. And most of her reviews these days voice as such.
Well, part of the reason why I left was I was explaining you can't do that because she has she has to write. Here's the problem. She has to write out everything she says. And if you've listened, it sounds like she's reading. I'm sorry, we're getting
not at all. This is literally a clip.
No, continue. I came here today for the tea. So
you came for tea,
and everybody did listening. So I'll say it in this way too. I have bulletin points now. Tell us about you, Frank. How we met, podcasting, SLAYIN IT, and it's all kind of just merging into this one big bubble, which is okay because that's how we are. We kind of just wherever. We don't really do things by the books. When we try to, it never goes that way. So everybody will get this just as it comes out. It's authentic. It's raw. It's uncut. This is just us showing up. Wow. So you're good. I wanted to speak on all this, get to know you a little bit, hear about your story, and you can go on your tangent now about what happened with SLAYIN IT, I guess.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I'll give you the Cliff's Notes version if I can, because it's a long one. As I was telling you in the pre-show, it's I've recorded, because when it first was going on, when everything kind of came out publicly, I'm I'm going to record a podcast and I'm going to say everything. And then I have a whole new perspective on why do people, when shit happens, do they just not call shit out? Because it's really uncomfortable it's a very uncomfortable feeling to have to admit that you might have been taken advantage of. Right. Like nobody wants to admit that. And it's just like, and to say it out loud, especially in a public context, is really uncomfortable. Like right now, it's just like, I don't think I'm in the wrong in any way, but I feel weird nonetheless. It's just like, because it's just an uncomfortable subject. It really is. Like,
well, how did you get affiliated with her in general? That's something I know. I don't really have the.
Well, that's interesting. You were talking like how you're, before this break, that you're new to podcasts. Like, so am I, pretty much. I only really started podcasting in earnest only like a couple years ago. Before that, my background is in production. I worked in production since my entire professional career. From when I was 19, I was a production assistant, a PA. And then I did grip and electric and like non-union films and stuff like that for like another 10 years. Non-union feature films and commercials. Then I kind of got sick of that grind. And quite frankly, I sucked at it. I was really bad gripping electric. It's just like, what's a grip do? Everybody does that joke. It's like, what is a key grip? It's like, guess what? I did it for 10 years. Still don't know. That's how bad I sucked at it. But then I went into freelance videography. I got sick of the grind. I was working on like a bunch of films I didn't like. And it was just like hard work. I just never liked the vibe. And plus I wasn't very good at it. Then I kind of learned videography, and then I started doing freelance videography, shooting doc stuff, industrials. And then I became like a freelance editor. I'm more of a post-production type of guy. Then I made a feature film called Welcome to the Future. Check it out. Didn't exactly set the world on fire. It was kind of a bomb. So me and Juliet had that common. Hey, mine cost 15 films. Hey, listen, all of a sudden.
At least you probably paid people out.
We're not going to talk about how that movie kind of got funded. If Reddit is to be believed. But well, my movie's also coherent, so I guess
this shade every 2 seconds.
It's not. Hey, listen, it's not a masterpiece by any stretch, but the premise of the movie. Have you seen?
No, I won't watch anything like that's out of the realm. I like Drusilla is that's it for me. Listen, I'm not really. I mean, she was in like one of the Flintstones movies in a part or something like that, or something random. I remember y'all talking about some of the stuff that she had worked on and stuff way earlier, and I remember looking up Google pictures to see what she looked like back then. That's about it. But I definitely ain't watching anything of hers moving forward at all. Plus, if we do, it's a scam, and we should because maybe her past stuff for sure, but anything she tries to put out now is probably a cash grab.
I just think that movie is one of the most. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Red Letter Media. They have a show called Best of the Worst where they watch the worst films ever made, and they coined a term I like called the Black Tank Top movie. The Room. You're familiar with The Room? Is a black tank top movie, with Tommy Wiseau and all that. It's a movie where the filmmaker is completely unaware of themselves, and the lack of awareness portrayed on the film is incredible. And they always, for some reason, in these kinds of movies like The Room or the films of somebody like Neil Breen, they always wind up wearing a black tank top. A Place Among the Dead is the perfect black tank top movie. It is completely unaware of itself. It's a movie where the premise is that, well, when you think about it, I am kind of like Jesus. That's literally the point of the movie. And the whole movie's predicated on the audience knowing exactly who she is. Like she assumes, well, of course everybody knows who I am. Like that's literally the level.
Makes sense why most of the people make their comments on narcissism and all that stuff. But
so I started doing interviews because I just loved them. I could ask somebody who I'm a fan of to talk to me because I was working on Bloody Disgusting. And I was just like, that's a good platform. And I'll just talk to a person who I'm a fan of. And it's like, I'll just write them or their publicist and say, hey, can they come on the show? And I could talk to them about how much I like them. And it's like, yes, it's like, that's cool. Who wouldn't want to do that? And then I went to New York Comic Con and I got there as press, which is awesome. I really kind of took to podcasting. I really enjoyed it, especially the audio drama aspect of it, because I really like fiddling and create world building through sound. I really like the medium. I could sit here and bore you for a long time. Too late. About how much like my thoughts about like what I believe about podcasting and how much I love the medium, but I won't bore you any more than I have to. But anyway, so I got the chance to interview the Buffy cast because the Slayers cast, and she was there, and she handed me a flyer to go to a screening of her movie. And, you see the flyer. It's like, oh, it's her and Gary Oldman, Ron Perlman, Anne Rice. Like, holy shit, maybe, and I'm with a friend of mine. And I said, do you want to go to this? Like, this should be crazy. This could be like, we can meet Gary Oldman tonight. We go to the screening. And what's amazing is the screening's being held at a studio that a dude I've worked with for like 20 something years runs the place. I'm like, I walk in and I'd never been to his studio. So it's like, holy shit, I know the dude who runs this place. It's like, I felt like the dude who's like, hey, I know the promoter. I felt like that guy. Juliet's there and her husband come up to me and they're incredibly nice. They show the movie. I'm grabbing my friend's leg throughout the movie. I'm like, holy shit, this is bad. Oh shit. Holy shit. What the fuck am I watching? Holy shit. This is fucking crazy, dude. I've been hitting the pen all day and I'm a few drinks and so this is just fucked up. I actually am going to do a podcast just talking about the movie because I could make the argument that it might be the worst film I've ever seen.
Oh, shit.
This is the rub. So she comes out with her husband and they sit there and talk about how they're victims of narcissistic abuse. They made this film about that. Even though that you could say that movie is about tomato farming, and I'd believe you because it doesn't make any sense. Anything. The laws of sequential occurrence do not make any the realm of sanity. There's nothing. There's choices in that film that you go, that's a crazy person makes that choice. That's irrational. Like you don't do that. They're really good at this part. They're doing this whole pitch presentation about like narcissistic abuse. And there's people there, some people who I'm with who start crying because they start talking about that. And they talk about what that experience was for them. And they start telling these horrible things. And they made this film to make about a conversation about that. So after you hear that, like, I feel bad for making fun. Like, this is really sweet what they're doing. I feel like I should do a
podcast with her.
Now I've been hitting that pen some more and I'm drinking. I'm having a good night. I'm like, hey, that movie's amazing. Listen, you want a good review out of me? You put a few drinks in me, and I'm saying this is the best fucking movie. Listen, I'm like a positive drunk. I don't drink anymore because like I can't. I physically can't. But I'm like a drunk that's like kind of aggressively complimentary. It's like, listen to me. You don't listen. Don't look at him. You are the best. You were the best person I have ever met. I'm fucking wiping away tears when I say that shit. I get like, okay, man, it's cool. Just don't hurt me. So it's like I'm doing that with her. And so I said, you got to come on my show and talk about the film some more. I'm trying to shorten this because the thing about this whole thing is that I'm not mad at her or her asshole idiot husband. Despite my verbiage just now, I'm mad at myself a lot of it because there were obvious red flags that, listen, before I met my wife, I was kind of a broken person, kind of a mess. And so, I've been in bad situations relationship wise. So I get to a certain point with this thing where I go, I can't blame her or her husband for how things went, where it's like, I should know better. Like, that's how I feel about it. It's like, no, I'm a big boy. I should know better. There were obvious problems. I mean, that movie, if I wasn't bowled over by the pitch was great. I got to say, the pitch is good. The pitch is good. Like they sell it. They sell the movie. And here's like a real classy move. So after the screening and after everybody's had like drinks and stuff, she puts a table that is between you and the exit of the space to sell Blu-rays. So she packed this place with literally paper people. They weren't like press. I was like probably the only press person there. She grabbed a bunch of fans so she could sell more Blu-rays to them. It's gross now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Totally.
Yeah, I think that's kind of tacky. I don't know. But at the time, it's, originally the idea was we had a script. Me and a few people had written a script. And we were talking and it's like, I like this person. It's like, and she's Drusilla. It's fucking Drusilla. And I'm having a conversation. I'm like, holy shit. Like I'm having like conversations with Drusilla, like just not even about business, just about like bullshit. Just how's your day? And that conversation went from emails then to texts. And we're just texting each other about throughout the day. And at one point I'm like, hey, why don't you like jump on this film I'm trying to put together? It's essentially an anthology horror film. It's an anthology horror film. I really don't want to direct the whole thing. So it's like, why don't you direct a segment and you could star in it and you could be a producer, which thank God that never happened. Because listen, at the end of the day, a podcast is a very low stakes affair, relatively.
Mm-hmm.
The movie we were talking about making was going to be in this high 6 figures, like low 7 figures. This is end my life money.
Mm-hmm.
That I'll never see.
No,
like that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Then what happened was, it was mentioned. It's like, hey, rewatch podcasts are huge. We were doing a rewatch podcast with Zoning Out, talking about Twilight Zone. There's no Buffy one with a cast member, which is huge business. Isn't that such a bizarre gap in the market? Like, it's like we just discovered a gap in the market. It just seems like kismet.
Well, all these other people that are doing, like, Charisma and James and all them that do the Comic-Cons and all that other stuff too. I'm surprised that they haven't come forward and been like, let's go do this. And it's something that could be happening. And
right. So listen, hey, would you be interested in doing something like that? Oh my God. Yeah. So we started talking and it became pretty clear we should do that. And we set up some meetings, because somebody will want this. Like, we won't have to go out of pocket. So we set up a meeting with a pretty big network who we're friendly with, who I think would be a great fit for. She drags out the negotiations. Like, we let her take the lead on the negotiations.
This is before you also premiering episodes. Okay.
Yeah, this is like, because this is a big business now. Like, she was like concerned about, like, how much work do I have to do? It's like, you don't have to do nothing. You come in once every 2 weeks for 2, maybe 3 hours. We put 2 episodes in the can. Then you don't have to deal with anything. I produce it. We'll deal with the socials. We'll deal with everything. And then this network will deal with everything else. You don't have to do shit. You sit there and watch an episode, take notes, and then sit there and have me try to make you laugh for the next 3 hours. Simple. The negotiations don't go well, to a point where they very abruptly pull out. She tells me they're crooks, and that's why they did it. And you know what? I'm still honored that she's doing this with me, so I believe her.
Uh-oh.
I'm just like, those motherfuckers.
Look at his face.
I've since talked, those sons of bitches. Like, listen, I'm a ride or die bitch. You know what I mean? It's just like, if you're my friend, it's just like, listen, I have a friend I haven't seen since high school. If he called me up, it's like, Frank, I killed another hooker. It's like, listen, calm down. I'll come over with some tarp. We'll deal with it then. Like, I'm a ride or die bitch that way. So I'm with you. It's just like, I'll be like, Jesus, Bob, you got to stop doing this. It's like, I'm very loyal. So I believe, and I'm also very trusting. I'm a little on the spectrum. So, well, I'm on the spectrum. Let's just call it that. So I believe things very easily. I believe the people I'm around. So I literally, my wife has saved my life many a times. It's just like, no, honey. Friend? No, not friend, honey. So that goes badly. So we said, okay, we'll do it ourselves. And we have a debut month of 40,000 in the first month. It's a huge first month.
Wow.
I have 78 followers on Spotify.
It comes. You just got to be consistent. So we have a huge start. Now it's like this network will want us. We could start the conversations with others. Nah, we don't want to do that. I have a suspicion. And this is not a suspicion so much as this is kind of confirmed more or less because I've talked to the company that we had like the negotiations with, and they told me it's just like didn't look good.
They got a bad vibe, so they went with their intuition, and
they said didn't look good. Like, that's the wording they used. Didn't look good, but I know I could read between the lines what that means.
We are as well.
If anybody gets anything out of this, before I go any further into this, 2 things that I want people to take away from this is always do your due diligence when you get into anything.
Like looking up podcast names that are not taken.
I couldn't fucking believe it. I am so sorry this happened to you, and I couldn't fucking believe that. Okay, we'll get there. So we have this great month monetizing. Like, she just like keeps dismissing every conversation. Like, they keep her and her husband, who I really, if you've noticed, I really don't like him. Her I almost pity, but him I really just disgusted by. I'll get to why in a little bit, but no monetization. And then there became the issue with how the show was edited conservatively. And this is not, I'm not making these numbers up. For every episode of Slayin' or anything I edited for her, it would go through 7 or 8 drafts, essentially, like cuts, 7 or 8 cuts with notes that would go between, on the low end, 400 notes, and on the high end between 600 and 700.
That's a lot.
And it was her weird thing with I'm trying to find the episode in the edit. It's like, what are you doing?
Which is a lot of people were complaining about. They're like, talk about the episode and like not all these little side tangents, which are cool in some facts. But like sometimes I even myself, I'm sitting there massaging people listening to it. And I'm like, I remember tapping my earbud a few times to like skip through 30 seconds, 60 seconds to like listen to when y'all are talking about the episode again and stuff like that too. You know what I mean? Not super consistently, but it happens.
Well, because sure, some of that's definitely me. Sorry if you notice I'm a little bit tangenty, but there was things where it's just like, we'll be doing the episode breakdown and then you do this 30-minute piece about like sexual abuse at your school. And then we go back to describing the episode. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is a weird placement for this. And I'm not allowed to make any decisions. And here's the thing. So before she'd even watch it, I'd sit there and cut it down to a reasonable length, get rid of all the ahs and filler words and anything like that. I would do all that. Mm-hmm. I'm getting these notes after I've done that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're like, I thought I was done.
Yeah. No, it's just like, no, we're just getting started. It would take me 7 to 8 days to edit an episode. That's why you're only getting half. That's part of the only reason, because their new editor, God bless him, has probably just said, there's no fucking way I'm doing this. And it's just like, I'm not doing that. You know, so he probably.
Wait, were you getting paid at all?
No. Well, no. Well, here's the problem. We were co-owners. Like, that's how we broke this down. Like, the notes became very overbearing, but at the same time, she kept refusing to record episodes.
Why?
I don't know. There was an excuse. So we recorded the first 4 or 5 episodes in like 2-week block, like stretch, more or less. And then we didn't record anything for like 2 months.
What?
We were doing the interviews. Everything she has to say, she has to write out. Like everything. And when I say everything, like every word. So I'd be editing it months later and I cut out, let's say, a sentence she said like 2 months ago. She'd go, why is that sentence removed? So what sentence? Because I didn't realize this was going on. It's like, how does she remember one sentence she said 2 months ago? Because she's going through the script she wrote to see if I changed anything. And then I'd get phone calls if I made a mistake. So I was good for about like 1 or 2 mistakes per 100 notes. Sorry. I guess I'm not perfect. 98%. So these would facilitate her calling me. Sometimes at like 11:30 at night when I'm asleep, me and my wife have to be at work early the next day. Making it like, I'm not mad, but this kind of stuff can't go on. Here's the crazy thing. And this is where I got really enraged listening to Revamped, not this Revamped, the other Revamped. That first episode, there's a huge audio glitch in there and it's left in the episode. I'm like, how the fuck was that left in? And then in another episode, there's something similar where they just cut out somebody's like second half of their sentence, like really sloppy work.
AKA me.
And I'm like, me too. We all do. And shit happens. Mm-hmm. Even in the biggest, I'll be watching the biggest content creators shit. And I'm like, I can't believe he left that in. Mm-hmm. It's everybody.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Right.
Yeah.
But
to do it twice after you've stolen someone's podcast name, I mean, come on.
Well, no. And the reason I got mad about those mistakes, and I'm like, because this was never about the mistake. There was that. Then the contract, which I talked about online, which I posted it's like, what if this happened to you? And I didn't bring up names. And the best was when mutual friends of ours said, oh, I would not work with that person. So for people who are listening,
damn,
that's the best.
It was amazing. Wonderful. And they must have they had egg on their face. Before I get to the contract, me and her have a blow up about a month before the show ends. We get back from Florida. Now, again, I've flown to 3 conventions. I've flown across the country on my own dime with flyers, printed out like cards, things she never fucking paid, like offered to fucking put in on.
What?
She did eventually. She's like, oh, do I owe you anything? Like kind of half-heartedly. It's like, don't worry about it. Well, they're also cheap as shit because they complain about money constantly. She's constantly complaining about money. Well, it's like, she's like, I don't have money. It's like, it's like almost to the point where I'm thinking, are you asking me for money?
Mm-hmm.
So at the beginning, I'm like, this is so cool. I'm collaborating with, somebody who I admire and respect. Then I realized that I'm just being called an imbecile.
Mm-hmm.
So I get these notes, right? I'd have to go over them with her where she'd be either running up and down the stairs of her house to exercise or on the treadmill and I'd be on speaker and have to read aloud all the notes, and she'd go, "Do you understand?" And I'd say yes, and she'd go, "Okay, next note." And I'm like, I thought this was like fun in the beginning. I'm like, she just thinks I'm stupid. Like, she really just thinks I'm a fucking imbecile. Like, this is demeaning.
But Frank, how did you not hang up on her and say, "I think it's time for you to fuck off"? Like,
because it's all done very friendly and it all does incrementally. So, but right. I mean, no, you're right though. I should have been like, what are we doing here?
I still get your draw because, and I'm not even like coming into it as like an organic Buffy fan. I'm here because Brandon, you know what I mean? So now I'm a Buffy fan. But if I had been this whole time and I've been working with Drusilla or had the opportunity, or really anyone from the cast, it could be anyone, you know, I feel like I get the blinders were a little bit on too, probably, you know, because you have, I don't know, like you have an excuse, I guess, because it's Drusilla and you admire her, and like you said, and it's an opportunity. So
it's a huge opportunity.
But that's a huge
this is
red
life-changing
flag.
money.
You're not making money off of a podcast that 100% has listener numbers to monetize, and it just, I don't know, none of it makes sense.
This is where the blow up comes out, because we're all trying to. It's all going very fast, and I look at the timeline. This actually blew up pretty quickly because that first month, we're recording and doing stuff and we're going to conventions. And I'm like, but after Florida, the third convention is where things change, where she called me up because I don't usually upload the episodes. Somebody else would upload the episodes, but because we were traveling, I had to upload the episode. I put up the video for YouTube. I schedule it. So I think what I did was I scheduled it for like noon or something instead of 12 a.m. So it didn't go up. It didn't go up like early in the morning. 9 a.m, she calls me up just snapping at me. Just like, why is that not up? Because we worked really hard on this. It's just like, and it's not up. It's not right that it's not up. This is after I just flown back from Florida. And the first thing I had to do was finish editing these episodes.
Oh, shit.
And I've not fucking had a moment to myself.
I'm over here getting nervous, biting my nails and shit.
And I'm like, she's snapping at me. And then and as she's snapping at me, I'm at my computer and I just said, "Oh, it's done. It's fixed." I said, "Hello, it's fixed." Then she's like going through it. Why are there subtitles on it? It's like, what? It's like, the subtitles are on. Turn them off. I said, "You must have hit subtitles." "No, I didn't." It's like, this is also old people shit when old people don't know how to engage technology and it's fucking annoying. They're like the kings of that. You know how she takes screenshots of like Instagram stuff?
Please,
she puts Instagram on the computer and takes a camera of it from her phone. And that's how she would send us screenshots.
Frank.
It's old people.
Frank.
Right. Yeah, it's fucking embarrassing.
I'm dead.
And then she hangs up, and everything else up to this point, I'm saying, man, she's fucking neurotic. Like, I don't see it as abuse. I'm just thinking she's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't see it as abuse. So, like, even that, when she's doing, like, asking me, do I understand? I don't think she's doing it to be a dick. I think she's just neurotic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, she's like got some, like, it's an OCD type tick thing. That's what I think. It's not then, it's like, no, this is incrementally, she's
being an asshole.
Well, Charlie Murphy coined the greatest term ever in that sketch about Rick James.
Yes,
Rick James.
Yes.
He referred to him as a habitual line stepper. And it's the fucking greatest term because we've all known that. It's like they keep doing things to see how much they could get away with until you snap at them and they go, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Mm-hmm.
But then they slowly start coming back. So that was enough for me. It's just like, now I'm fucking getting yelled at. This is not going on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm ready to walk out. And I've told everybody, I said, look, this show might end today because I fucking had it now.
Mm-hmm.
Now this fucking asshole's yelling at me. I'm not dealing with this. So I get her on the phone. I don't yell. I don't raise my voice. I said, look, I hope we could work this out. I understand if we can't, but how you talk to me today is just completely unacceptable. Well, I had a cold. It's just like, listen, I hate that when people said they were sick. When they say, well, I had this, it's like,
I'm like, that's not even an excuse. Why are you 12 years old? Like, grow up.
Very infantile.
Yeah.
Very infantile.
Yeah.
So I start talking about that. You just don't ever speak to me that way again. There's been a lot of shit you've been doing that I could be nasty about, and I haven't been.
Yeah.
Now, here's the other issue. So by the time this September's rolled around, the show starts nosediving in listenership.
Oh, no.
It's not nosediving. It's not where it should be.
Right.
So we're losing. We're not gaining. It's starting to go down. Now, this could be a trend. A lot of things it could be. Like now, we can't get a network if that's the trend because nobody's going to want that.
Yeah.
A sinking ship.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to buy it. So now we're
No.
kind of closing up shop. So now it's like, also, why is there no Patreon up?
Mm-hmm.
So we have it. I say, listen, you can't talk. This is bullshit. And the editing is got to stop. I have 2 other shows I have to produce that I'm contractually obligated to produce.
And you're not even making money here. Like,
yeah, I'm not making money here.
Yeah.
And one's actually making money and I'm losing money. Eventually it simmers down where I'm like, listen, we got to start monetizing. That's enough's enough. It's just like, okay, I'll set up the Patreon. I'll start setting up the Patreon. Okay, I could do that. You just worry about the episode. I'll stop giving you as many. I'll stop giving all the crazy notes. So it compromises me.
Right.
So I'm giving her a chance. I'm giving you one more fucking chance because now I'm at the end. I'm waking up every morning going, what the fucking, you know, when you're just being treated like an asshole, and you know you're being treated like an asshole, but you're stuck. Because I really believe, here's the thing, I want this to succeed. I want her to succeed because if she succeeds and the show succeeds, I succeed.
Yes.
And I put a lot of time
and you put more work into it.
It's like gambler's fallacy. When you're dealing with a toxic person, it's like being stuck at a table. This table's got to pay out. This table's got to pay out. And eventually you got to walk away. But I wasn't there yet. So the whole contract thing was she found a friend of her friend's brother. He does ad sales and he's trying to get into the podcasting market. So I don't know the guy. It's her friend. I'm not going to bring up this kid's name, and I would like to point this out. I'm not going to bring up your name, sir, because there's a chance that you were lied to, but the way you behave too is a little fucking funny. I'm just letting you know that I'm being magnanimous by not saying your fucking name right now. Okay, sorry, a little housekeeping. We need to pay him $1,500 up front, all 3 of us, split between all 3 of us, to do something. I don't know. I'm like, whatever, go sell crack, whatever you got to do. Make us fucking money. We're fucking dying here. Because I have friends who are like in the business, who like do, big shows. They're like, oh, you must be making some nice money right now. I'm like, I'm not. Like, why? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how.
I don't know. It's just crazy.
That's crazy.
So we give him $1,500. He says, like, well, I have a client that they're going to pay $1,500 for an ad sale right off the bat. So this money will come right back to you. I was like, okay, whatever. Sell crack, whatever. So it's like, okay, we need the Patreon next week. She's like, okay, we'll handle that. And no more notes. Okay, good. All right. Let's go get him. I'm like, let's be positive again. And then the contract comes back. So we do that. We sign a contract with the guy. And she mentioned this. And again, I'm not the most business savvy person on the planet. I'm like my nose, I kind of like shiny objects, like will distract me. I let like other people think on that stuff, which I've changed now since then. Now it's like everything. You can't do that. That's
like, I actually have to read.
You got to be like that motherfucker in I Robot Eugene. I'm jacked in.
Yeah. We discussed what we wanted in the contract, what's not in the contract. It's like, okay. There's no place for me to sign. I don't even look at it. I just look for the signature place. Again, stupid. I assumed like other people had looked at it. And again, I'm
on your behalf.
Well, which wind up did being the case because somebody looked at it and said, your name's not anywhere in the contract, and it's under Hell LLC. Like she puts it under Hell LLC. So she's like, it'll be better for you. It's easier for you. It's safer for you to do it this way. It's safer to be under an LLC umbrella. It's like your LLC has nothing to do with me. And this is how I answered that. I'm like, look, right now we've put this show together very fast. So I'm sorry if there was a misunderstanding. We've put the show together very fast. So that being the case, we don't have a proper corporate structure. Until we do, we are 3 separate entities. Mm-hmm. So let's keep it that way. Mm-hmm. And that's the way I wrote it. That's the way I wrote that. So put my name, all the names, put our names. We're co-owners of this company. You remember that we agreed to that, right? And she puts under title, she puts president and manager. And I'm like, of what? Like, we haven't discussed titles. Why are you putting president of your LLC? That's not the question. That's not what it's asking. If that's what you're deciding, like, it's like the title is like nothing. So I wrote, you know what I wrote in this contract? Professor of the Dark Arts, since we're going to put nonsense up there. That's what I wrote. And it's like, if it comes like, so that's in the contract. I'm Professor of the Dark Arts. So now I'm just going, okay, you make deals with yourself. You go, okay, she's doing stuff like this now, which makes me uneasy. Now, her husband, when we finally talked about it, I accused him of saying what I thought why they tried to do that. He says that's impugning his name. He literally said, when I saw it brought up, which I won't say here, because technically I can't prove they were trying to do anything. That's true. But do I have to?
I don't think so.
It's like, what do you mean? We all know what's going on here.
Yeah.
We all know what you're trying to do here. And it's just like, and he's just like, that's impugning my name. And when I point blank asked her husband about it, he's like, you can't prove that. That's literally how he answered me. Like, when things finally fell apart. He says, you can't prove that.
The irony is that all of this whole story started by you saying that their pitch was that they suffered from narcissistic abuse, and they sound like the most narcissistic people that I've like heard a story about ever, other than my own dad, which is saying something.
And that goes on. Let's skip to when things finally wrap up, which is a couple weeks later. So we're recording, I think, is it Angel? I can't remember what episode it is.
Oh, no, you're still in season 1.
She's still in
we're in season 1.
I mean, she just now finished Prophecy Girl.
She just wrapped it up. Maybe part 1.
Are you joking?
She starts doing, we're doing an episode, I, Robot, You, Jane, which I was excited to talk about. So, like, pretty much like with the sexual abuse thing she does in the Teacher's Pet episode, halfway through the episode, she starts talking about the dangers of AI. So I'm making jokes. And this is another thing. Like, she never would have her camera on, which is really annoying. And this is like a thing with celebrities. It's like they never put their camera on because I'm not camera ready.
She didn't have her wig on.
Well, that's, I mean, from your lips to God's ears. I mean, Jesus Christ, we know it's a wig. It's like I don't care what you look like. What the fuck do I care?
Wrap a bonnet on that shit.
It's just like, I need to react to something. It's just like that. So that was another thing. She didn't know how to respond. She just won't give you anything. So you just sit there in silence. Everybody just sit there. She just won't give you anything. It's like, I'm being shitty and bombing. Give me something. Say, Frank, you suck. Just keep it moving. Just don't just stonewall me. I hate that shit. So she's just doing that the whole episode. Whatever. The rest of the episode's unremarkable, the recording. I wish people would hear that episode, which you probably never will. What a pro I am, because I hate her fucking guts by this point. I just truly despise her, and I'm just as chipper as you could imagine. So after the recording ends, she goes, hey guys, I was being serious there, and you guys are making jokes. Can we re-record that second bit, that whole chunk? Like, it's like a 40-minute chunk, so you're not laughing. It's like, and making me feel as a performer. Here's the thing: it's just like, you're a performer. I've worked with actors my whole life. I've seen some really shitty performers, like people who are selfish and greedy and shitty to their fellow co-stars. It's just like, you're trying to make me feel bad for missing a cue. Instead of you just telling me while we're recording, hey guys, serious thing, like don't make jokes, like, or something. You want to make me feel like, hey guys, you weren't with me on that. Like, you know what I mean? That fucking, like, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Like, it's your fault for not getting it. Then she brings up something that was going to be a big problem. Hey guys, can you write out your schedules for me so we could work on like how we could be more effective?
What?
She first put this in a text and I ignored this. So in other words, this is just so you know, you and your husband are going to go off and decide what I'm allowed to do all day. Is that what you think? You think you're going to talk me into that? Are you that fucking gone now? Like, you really, again, habitual line stepper. Like, okay, guys, I'm doing this as your friend. I'm doing this so we could all do okay together. And it's just like, and then she said, maybe, just to be more effective, maybe you're spending too much on social media. Like, it's like, maybe it's like, stuff that you could carve out, maybe an extra half hour to be more effective. It's like, I'm already working at peak capacity.
Well, and you're an adult.
It's like, and I don't need you. And
You
she also
don't.
wants my
What is
oh,
she, your mom? Like,
right. It's getting crazy now.
yeah.
And then so
That's
finally,
very intrusive on your personal life, also being that you have as much circumstantially going on, if not more than she does, because you have a partner, you have other jobs, you have other projects. Like, what are you talking about? Who are you
she
to
would always
delegate
guilt
my
me.
schedule?
She would always guilt me when I take another job. Really? How long is that going to take? Again, I'm thinking, man, she's neurotic. No, it's manipulative. It's like nasty. It's fucking
total control issue. Yeah.
control issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and now it's like here, it's just like, and it's also, this is why it's hard to talk about. It's like, what am I putting out that she thinks this is okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? You feel like gross. Like, am I just putting out like vibes that it's just like, this is okay to do?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? So I'm aggravated after that. I'm just cursing. I remember my wife came home and I had my head in my hands. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I've invested thousands into this. I've put so many hours into this, and I hate these fucking people. I don't know what to do. So now my whole thing is, all right, we got that guy selling ads for us, and we're gonna set up a Patreon, and I'll get my money back, and then I'll leave. I'll just stay until I get paid, like, you know, so I reimburse myself. And anything,
because you haven't gotten paid anything.
I got to get something back here.
Yeah.
I got to get
you
something
hadn't
back
at that point. Yeah. Right.
No, I have not made a fucking dime. I'm out thousands. Between hotels that I'm out thousands. So I fucking write her. I'm like, wait a minute. We talked about the Patreon almost a month ago. Where the fuck is that? So I write her. She writes me about something. And then I write back, where's the Patreon? Just that. She writes, oh, me and Dev decided we thought it would be good to set it up when we get to 100,000 downloads. I'm like, what? Well, because it'll be an event. So this is where
what?
I'm at my breaking point now. It's like, so we had a conversation. We are business partners. We had a conversation about how to run the business. And then you went off with your husband, who I don't have any fucking business relationship with.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you decided without my input or consent how we were going to proceed financially, despite what we fucking discussed. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, the lack of respect, like the disrespect. It's like, I'm a guinea. That kind of shit's just like, are you fucking kidding me? What are you, nuts? Like, are you fucking out of your mind? Like, what the fuck? I've never been it's like, I can't even believe the amount of disrespect. First of all, she's like, well, you know, I want to have a big debut because, like, we found with Indiegogo, like, having a lot of money attracts more money. It's like, first of all, again, with the technology, you somehow are conflating Indiegogo, which is a crowdfunding platform, with Patreon, which is a subscription service. I understand how cosmetically an old person might think they're the same kind of business, but they're completely different business models. So, and you've made a decision based on your dumb assumptions. You're wondering now. I'm just trying to give you a picture of the people who stole your show's name. This is the level. It's
none
not
of
malicious.
this surprises me, really, Frank.
Stupid. What?
I said none of this surprises me, Frank, because I took like 2 seconds of a look at her Instagram and I was just like, I don't say things like this often, but I will say it here since I'm the co-host of this podcast and because I can. But all of her content screams desperation. And it just screams like she's so desperate to stay relevant, and she barely was to begin with. I'm sorry. But if the only good thing she did in her career was Drusilla, then you didn't do all that much, and you haven't done anything in a long fucking time. So there's the reality of that.
Look, you booked a recurring almost 3 decades ago.
It never got killed off the show. Spoiler.
I'm sure she's telling the truth about her parents, that they were narcissistic abusers.
But then she just does the same thing to everyone.
Right. It's just like, you don't see that you've adopted
every single
exact definition of a narcissist.
Right. It's like everything you say to watch out for narcissists, like the triggers and the things that are red flags, I literally experienced with you. Like, to the point where my stomach started hurting when I was around her. It's like, oh, this is no good. Like, I'm in danger.
You must be a little bit of an empath more than you think, Frank.
Yeah. Well, I ignored it because it's just, again, I'm an idiot. I'm an empathic idiot.
No, it's because you're on the spectrum, so you're missing certain cues. I know because I am too. So there is that part of like you get a little bit naive, especially when you start off on trusting foot with someone. It's harder to like backtrack to a place you weren't before because you haven't yet trusted this person. You know, it's after you stop trusting someone that you're like, all right, what's done is done.
Then
And
you can analyze it. Yeah.
Right, exactly, because you have an emotional wedge between. But when all your emotions, your time, your energy, your resources, all of that is going into this one basket, it's like you said, you're at a table you can't leave because it hasn't paid off yet, you know, so you're waiting for that golden ticket, you're waiting for that moment, and then they meanwhile know that and they take advantage of it completely, so they know they can shit on you as long as they want to, because in hindsight they know they're not going to pay you anything, they're just going to use you for whatever you're worth, you know.
And it's like, if you had just done nothing, you'd be cashing a check for 5 figures a month. On a minimum right now, she would be doing that. I'd be cashing a nice fat check too. It's just like, you're like, what is this gained for you?
Exactly.
Like, all this, like,
she's
what is
standing in her own way by her doing her bullshit.
Like, yeah, this, like, that's the thing that's maddening. It's like, if you had just not been this, we'd all be laughing. We'd all be at Spago fucking saying another round, laughing. I got this one. Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, we could all be doing like so well, including you. And now you just have like a bunch of bad press. But anyway, the way it wraps up is, so I just start not answering her the whole week. So this is when I'm editing, in the middle of editing the Julie Benz interview. By the way, you want to hear what I think about Julie Benz?
Is she another Drusilla?
She did a cameo for us.
She's a fucking angel. Yeah. I love her. Okay, I swear to God, she is a sweetheart. She is funny. She is charming. She is very warm when you meet her in person. I loved her. I was like, wow, we did her interview. I was like, man, I wish I was doing a show with her.
Yeah.
She's unguarded.
You're like, do you want to run away with me?
Like, holy shit. So I'd like to take this time to really apologize to Julie Benz that this shit happened while your episode was the next up. Like, you were such a great guest and she was so sweet. All the guests were really sweet. How many times did she mention that she was a dancer? Like, she would always do that. She would always just bring that. Like, all her questions are there to tee up.
It was the stuff that she, as I say, it was her chance to speak on herself and bring it back up again, bring the conversation steered back towards something in her element. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like, dude, everybody can see it. It's like, you not see that everybody sees it. Anyway, so I'm giving her the silent treatment at the end of the week. I could go all day, dude. Sorry. But it's just like, I've been holding this in for months. And I edit it really well. I spend like a good 12 hours editing that episode, Julie Benz interview, because I want it to be tight. I really want it to be good. So I put in a lot of time. And also this weekend is New York Comic-Con. And I have some interviews lined up. Anything she's saying to me, I'm just giving one word answers like, yep, cool. Just like, I'm not engaging with this anymore. I got other shit to do this weekend and I'm prioritizing me now. Fuck you now at this point. You've reneged on an agreement. So as far as I'm concerned, the kids' gloves are off now. I'm like, that's it. I'm done playing your games. So she sends us all a letter about, hey guys, a lot of stuff. And it's like very friendly and chipper, this letter. And it's just about how good we've all been doing and how hard we're all working. It's like a motivational boss letter. It's like she knows something's up. She knows that, because all my responses to her have been very curt. Also, when she sends me a text, she sends us a text about, the guy we're doing ads with, who's selling us ads, is just wrote me this. Spoke to the comic book people who we have an ad with and the New York people. I'm like, it's like, who are the New York people? It's like, why is he text? And I just write to her, why is he just writing you? And I write to him too. CC us on all business related things, please. It's like, and why is he just writing it to you and you're just sending it to me secondhand? Because I don't know who the New York people are. So is there a second deal going on that I'm not aware of? Like, what is this? Like, why is he writing? That's excuse me. We're all owners here. Like, I'm putting my foot down with shit like this. So she writes this letter saying, like, hey, we're all doing great. I'm doing this. I'm going to make sure this does good. Like, just basically, it sounds like it's a peace offering. But again, she asks about the schedules. And this time she wants my wife's schedule too. But we're going to have the Patreon this week. And we're going to set that up for your approval. Like, okay. And if you want to go under my LLC, that's okay if you want. Like, she's asking again. I've already made my point about that. And she's asking me again. Like, friendly, but it's just like, I think I was clear. But it's like, it's a peace offering. So I say, listen, all cards on the table. Last time when I just had it out with her, I was trying to save this. I have no illusions anymore. I said, we'll talk about all this on a meeting on Monday. So, okay, no problem. We'll talk Monday. So Saturday night, I get an email from a publicist that I got approved for an interview with John Hamm, Alan Tudyk, and Rachel Dratch. It's like, holy shit. They have a show, an animated show called Grimsbury, I think, on Fox. I'm like, holy shit. I'm going to interview John Hamm tomorrow and Alan Tudyk and Rachel Dratch, who I fucking love. Valentine's Day. Anybody watch?
No, but we watched this episode, which is about Valentine's Day. Sorry, let me stop.
Now, I was only going to go Friday to New York Comic Con because that's all I had anything booked for. So like, oh, I'm going to go Sunday now because for this. It's like 11 o'clock. It's early in the morning. I'm excited. I'm like, this is the biggest interview I've ever done. Like, I can't believe I'm going to fucking sit there and stand in front of John Hamm and talk to him. That's crazy. That's so fucking crazy. It's so weird. And I get up early. I've never watched the show, so I have to like kind of cram the show the night before to like have some questions ready. Because I've never watched a single minute of it. Didn't know it existed, but it's like, I just wanted to, So that's like all my headspace. And I get up early. Now, this is funny. So my wife has a few friends sleeping over for, because, it's New York Comic Con. A lot of people come to New York. So we have a lot of friends who go every year. They stay at our place. So there's this couple, these two girls sleeping on like our couch. And we have a couple inflatable mattresses with my sister-in-law and my wife's niece. So there's a house full of women and me. Everybody is woken up by this. So I'm getting ready for New York Comic Con. I'm getting up early because I want to get there early. I want to get to the building like really early so I can get to the press room, get my notes ready. And, I'm like nervous. I'm excited. This is kind of cool. So she texts me which is again like probably 7:30, which is probably it's like 4:30 her time. She's always up early. She's like a fucking vampire. She really is. Like she will be up all night. And she's like, "How's what's it called coming? Julie Ben's episode coming?" I sent her the episode, and she only gave me 70 notes on it. So it's like, oh, I could do that Sunday night. You know what I mean? It's not that many, and that's it. And I'm like, I'm not doing any more after that because that's it. It's just like, I'll do those notes and that's it. That's fine. I'll send it to you either tonight or tomorrow morning. Right now I'm going to New York Comic Con. I got an interview with John Hamm, Alan Tudyk, and Rachel Dratch. All caps, she writes. You said you were only going Friday. I was just like, what? It's like, what are we going to do? Now I don't think we can finish the episode in time now. I said, what? It's like, oh, I guess we'll figure it out tomorrow. Like, just like really like all caps. Now, every woman in the house is woken up by a shrieking, obese, middle-aged man tromping around in his underwear and t-shirt. This motherfucker! Who the fuck does she think she's fucking? How the fuck? And I am out of my mind with rage, screaming like a maniac until I leave. And I make some calls, talking to people. You believe this shit? And I write her as I'm like in a rage. I said, listen, the episode is as good as it's going to get. What? My wife wants to say something.
Don't forget that you came out of here angry. Then
oh, wait, I know. I'm about to say that. Yeah. My wife's
she's on standby.
Hi.
I love her there to give the tea also.
Oh yeah. Oh, she went through it too. She saw all this. I'm so angry that I'm like, I write, the show is already edited more tightly than 99% of any other show out there. If that's not good enough, I don't know what to tell you. And that's how I leave it. And then I'm so angry. I call somebody and they just say it. And I explain everything that's happened. I'm frothing at the mouth on the way to the train station. Just a crazy, I look like, this is like, oh, we're in New York. There's just a crazy man going, and then there's fucking
very cliche.
Yosemite Sam cursing.
Like, we saw that when we were in New York.
Were you on the subway?
Yeah, right. This is a very everyday occurrence. It's just like, oh, it's one of those. Now I know how those people happen. It's just like
they're not all on like meth.
No, it's just, I get it. The person I'm talking to goes, look, maybe you don't want to hear this. It might never be worth it. And it just clicked. It's like, he's right. This is never going to be worth it.
Mm-mm.
Like, then I just stand. I'm in the middle of the street and I just write. Oh, let me find the text. I make it very professional. I say,
is this your text to her?
Yeah, this is my text to her.
Okay, I need to know what this says.
Hold on, sorry. We have decided we do not want to be involved with the show going forward. The unrealistic demands on our time, us having to beg for our names to be put on a contract, and the general lack of input or consent we have been allowed in all things logistical, financially, and creatively, despite having invested tons of time and money, were all key factors in our decision. All the best on your future endeavors.
You didn't hear anything back, did you?
Oh, no, I did.
Oh, you did?
This is what I get back. Seriously? Doing this in a text? Okay. Like a child. Not like, whoa, what's going on?
I'm sorry. I wanted to put a buffer between me and your manipulation tactics. So, yeah, text is best.
I said future endeavors because that's what they always say when they fire wrestlers. They call that future endeavoring them.
God.
That's how I future endeavored her. And it's just like, but now it's just like, I have all the everything. Like, I have everything.
I have all the everything.
I mean, just like, I don't have to give you shit. Anyway, I never speak to her again. Her husband asks us to go on a call. And this is when I hate this motherfucker. He wants all the files and he wants assurances. I'm like, I don't have to give you shit. I don't have to give you shit. And he kind of threatens like maybe potential legal action like that. I don't know if he threatened that. He was just being vague.
When it's
just
between three people and you're not
threats.
working for this person, you don't owe them anything, especially when you're the one that's put all the work. They've been a voice on the show and you've been managing every single thing up to then. That's all your
And
fucking property. It's
editing.
on your computer. And
Yeah.
also there's no contract
Right.
obligated to where you can involve any type of like potential legal matters.
So true.
Null and void
Yeah.
by that point. So he was just trying to make empty threats to
Well,
scare
yeah, I don't
you,
have to give you
and
shit.
You didn't back
You-
down.
You
so.
could have deleted, Frank, you could have deleted that podcast from the internet and said, fuck y'all.
Here's where I was at. And this is where I got really grossed out and creeped out by the whole situation. It's like, he knows exactly what they are. He don't give a fuck. No, but the way he did it, like, I thought he was like, because he was like, he's always, when you meet him, he's like, hello, I'm Deborah Weeks. I have a name like I'm in Narnia. And he's all very chipper and very happy. So, like,
I want to know what he looks like.
Oh, he's gross. It was like an unmasking moment where it's just like this angry, listen, I don't have to do shit, this nasty motherfucker. And brought up people's kids, which,
Oh, I
Bro.
dare someone.
Like, it's just like, I'd love for him to talk to me with that same energy in face to face. That's all I'd ever want.
That
in
would
my
never
life.
happen. Well, and a narcissist is always a coward. So
He's a cat, right? He just the energy he brought. It's like nobody brought up your kids, dude. It's just
why
like,
are you throwing unessential shit in here? What is that
well,
relevant
he was doing that.
to?
He tried to like get me to fight with other people. He's like, I wrote everything you say down. You never knew this, but I wrote everything you say down. It's just like, and he says
Okay,
something that.
but why? Unless you're anticipating a moment where I'm gonna have to fuck you in the ass with a cactus because you decided to do something to me. Like,
he had nothing. He pulls out something that was just like,
what does that matter?
Right. It's like, what are you talking about here? Like, he
also,
was just
that
trying.
says
He
way
was
more about him than you. Are you sitting here writing down everything that they are saying to you?
Right.
You know what I mean? No,
what
because
does that
you
mean?
don't anticipate this shit coming. They do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I write everything down. It's like, but okay, what does that mean? Like, he's trying to make it like that has like a legal weight because he kept doing that performatively. When I'd say something, he'd write it down. It's like, you can write whatever you want down. It doesn't make it true. Like, I could write Deverell Weeks abandoned his wife and children for a narcissistic D-lister. Now, does that make it true? It doesn't make it true. I mean, I could write anything. Doesn't necessarily make it true. Whether that's true or not, who's to say?
Yeah. What are you? Like, you're not in a courtroom under oath.
Yeah. Don't bring up kids again.
I mean, that.
It was like, I just want my money back, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I just want my money back. Just give me my fucking money back. And I just want this over with.
Mm-hmm.
I got a weird vibe that he was trying to do something because he gave up money. Like, he was fighting me on money, but then he gave it up really quickly, like in a way that made me go. So I said, listen, let me go talk about this for a few minutes and then we'll come back. So come back in 10 minutes. I come back in 10 minutes. He doesn't answer me. So he's pulling the power move. He's trying to like put the heat on. So I don't know. I call, this is the thing. If you don't have anybody, I'm really afraid for them to be around somebody who doesn't have people in their life.
To
I'm agitated.
Be a voice of reason.
Because I could just call somebody. It's like, I have people in my life that like, like I just called up my brother and it was like,
yeah, and you can ask
just like,
somebody.
and I said, what do you think of this? And he's just like, here, get on the phone. My friend who's a lawyer. He's like, don't accept any money from them. That's what they said. Do not take any money from them.
Oh, shit, for real?
Yeah, don't take anything.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's what he said. Do not do anything.
Oh, that's scary.
No, my lawyer said that. He just said,
I know. I just wonder, like, what the
No, not necessarily a bad
happened.
thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just like, it could just don't do anything. So I said, you know what? Never mind. It's like, what? And he got like nervous. That's why when I came back, I said, I don't want anything. He's like, no. He kind of started insisting after he just fought me for an hour. Now he's insisting to like give me money. I said, no, now I really don't want it. Which, so then I talked about it some more. It's like, well, what do you want to do? I said, I just don't want this to be, I don't want to be involved with them. Do you want to fight? Do you want to do anything? It's just like, just then give it to them. Give them their shit. Give them, give them all the stuff. If you don't want to fight with them, I want this to be over. And here's the thing. I'm not giving them, the show's a failure. At this point, we have lost like a good 10,000 listeners. The show's a sinking ship. I know it. So it's not, there's no reason to fight. What are you going to fight over? Unless you want to fight it. Do you want to fight it? Is the show worth it? It's like, no, then wrap it up.
Yeah.
Call it a loss. There's no getting anything.
There's no loss at that
It's just
point.
don't take the money's just to be safe, just because you don't know what they could do. So when I worked in the New York independent film scene, I've seen some creepy shit, and I've worked with like a lot of recognizable people, and they break down firmly into 3 categories. People on their way up. Like I worked on a feature where Jesse Eisenberg was the star, but this is before he pissed in the mason jar in Batman versus Superman or whatever happened in that movie. He was on his way up. Then there's other actors that they have a dip. Like I worked on 2 features with Natasha Lyonne. And this is a period in her career, like, she wasn't doing much, it's just like, so I was working on low budget, like films that were like within the, like, $300,000 to a couple $1 million range. Then you have other actors where you go, oh, that's why they're not working. And like, you're in the business long enough. IMDb is like tea leaves. You could see the career trajectory. You could almost read like, look, this person don't work much. There's a reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
It gets around. Word gets around about people.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love the thing about this, that really entitlement, and that bothers me about what happened to you guys, is like the rewatcher, who are wonderful. Those two girls are such sweethearts. Didn't have to put us on their show. Not just like put us on their show, took our show and put it on their feed to promote our show. A nothing show. Like, do you understand like what a favor that is? They're like a top 20 fucking podcast.
Wow.
They're a top 20
huge.
podcast. They're huge.
Yeah.
They don't need to do shit. And what does she do to pay it forward? Where it's like, here, hey, we're fans of you. Please don't steal the name of our show. Fuck you, blocked. I mean, I could, and here's the thing. I was dreading that coming up because I knew she was going to relaunch at the beginning of the year. For some reason I knew, or was that, did she say that she was going to do it? Because I knew.
I can't even remember now.
I don't remember.
I like subconsciously blocked all that out.
Yeah, I knew she was going to drop it. And I'm like, I didn't know she was going to call it Revamped, but I'm sitting there going like, what's going to happen? And here's the thing. I was really afraid of being attacked online.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Which didn't happen, which honestly, I got to say how sweet and unbelievable and supportive people were when stuff started coming out.
Mm-hmm.
How sweet. People were really so nice. Like, I was just terrified. I even said to her husband at one point, it's like, do you really want to go this contentious route? It's like mutually assured destruction. I'm going to have your fans attacking me, and people are going to attack you because you're already not well liked. Like, as I found out. Here's the thing. Again, going back to due diligence, I didn't know anything about how her film was funded until afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the stuff that came up. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how true that stuff is. I'm just saying that, but don't look good. And that's the thing. It's like my thing. Listen, if you listen to this and go, I don't know how true anything is, that's fair enough, but don't look good. And now the other thing with you guys, it's like, I don't know what, even if people don't know the full facts of that, don't look good. So it seems like there's a pattern of behavior emerging publicly.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a pattern of behavior as we're starting to see. Like before that thing with your film, it was in a vacuum. That's why it probably didn't get talked about. And the reality is, it didn't get talked about a lot. Because I was always wondering, like, how is this not a scandal?
Mm-hmm.
Like when I found this out, because nobody gives a shit about her.
Right. Yeah. I think she
Not worth
has to
picking up.
know that subconsciously, which
Right.
is why all that, like, all
Well,
this is happening kind of thing, you know?
So again, that's why your name got stolen. and I'm very sorry for that, my part in that.
So was that her whole thing, though? Her whole premise for changing the name was just because you basically were like, no thanks, don't want to work with you anymore. So then she felt compelled, like she had to, or did you tell her that she had to, or what?
I didn't tell her shit. Just do what the fuck you want. I never told her shit.
So you didn't even care about if the name stayed the same. So she didn't have to change her name.
No, she didn't have to change anything. I never
needed clarification on that one.
But a lawyer might have said something to her.
I see.
Somebody said, get rid of that.
Okay.
Because now my episodes are disappearing off the feed, I've noticed. Like she's just wiping that off. I see like those episodes are slowly disappearing. And I bet you she thought you could swap it with a new episode, but that's not how uploads work. It's chronological. Like you can't sort episodes that way.
Right.
So she probably took them off and went, oh shit. This episode's going to come up next. It's a new download. Well, darn. Is there a way? She's Googling that. Is there a way to make it so it comes up first? She's like, so that's the thing. How do you not Google the name? Like we Googled Slayin' It. Like that's it. I Googled it.
That's what I told Brandon, because of course, like revamped is just a word by by technical form. But at the same time, she's in the business. She's in the business. She absolutely knows, probably more than your average person just starting a podcast, to do her fucking due diligence and look this up. I've done 2 podcasts so far, and that is the first thing I did before I released anything related to it. So it's like you don't want to be out here, especially when the podcasting world is so, it's growing. There's so many people in the last few years that have just been like, oh, me and my brother, me and my sister, me and my mom, me and whoever are going to do a podcast. Like, how do you not make sure that this isn't the first thing that you do to check it off your list and make sure this name of a podcast doesn't exist already, but even in the same, not just niche or genre, but about the same fucking show? I'm like, we can't even just dismiss it or excuse it. It's the same rewatch show. We can't exist. We can't coexist.
You can't do that. And it's just obvious you can't do that.
No, and I'm still pissed off about her not changing it.
Well, because it's just the arrogance of it. It's that. And it's the stupidity and arrogance of it. And again, she just started ostriching, where it's just like, I'll just block everybody. So now it's gone. I can't see it. Yeah. Well, I don't think she does that. I think she panics and throws it to her husband Renfield, who will do everything for her. I'll just go get rid of it. Make it go away. Make it go away. She like fucking scream cries in the shower or whatever nut thing she does.
Oh my
I don't know. She's like, really.
But you can't ignore your own reviews on Apple Podcasts, which I've managed to ignore, but Brandon has enlightened me on some of them, and they aren't far from glowing. And a lot of them bring up the fact that she stole a fucking podcast name to emerge
something she
from
knew
her
about
whatever happened.
As well. And then when
that's not me. And just
exactly.
so you know, that's not me.
Yeah.
That's not me. Like she probably sits there and goes, just so she's thinking, like she probably thinks, he's probably writing all these bad reviews. I'm not gonna lie, I wrote one. I wrote one. I
haven't wrote any. I've thought about it, but I'm just like, I'll let everyone else do it. And it's like Brandon has pointed out too, she has engaged with our social media account with this name before ever changing her own name. So it is absolutely something she was aware of, saw for herself, and engaged with on social media. So there's really no excusing not knowing. Someone knew, whether it's her or her husband, but one of the two.
They sit there and talk themselves into things that are just unreasonable. Like, what are you talking about? Like things that aren't realistic. Like this was like a big discussion. We talk about monetizing. And then this is why I started hating her husband, because he really is a dumb motherfucker. He would just come in and just yell. Like we'd be talking about like business stuff. And I think I got her finally talking about something she's starting to hear. Like, okay, I think I got her. And then he'll derail. Guys, I got it. I'm like, what? Got what? Kangaroos. You know how they have pouches, right? I'm like, yeah. I think we could do something with that. Like, the fuck are you talking about? He would just say something nonsensical. Like he would say, Howard Stern said he's a big fan of Buffy. Okay. We should get him on the show. Howard Stern. You're going to get Howard Stern to come on your Buffy podcast. Howard Stern. the richest broadcaster in the world. You're going to get him to come on your fucking small podcast. Are you out of your? I'm talking about real things. It's like, I'm talking about real things here, and you just do that. You know, let's tape, and this we table a financial discussion. So now I think that was kind of like almost intentional to like just throw, because they do that. They'll say something that's just like, what are you talking about? To just throw you off, to confuse you. That's how they do everything.
Well, that's why it gets easier to manipulate you, because then you lose track of the point, you know?
Yeah, no, it's really tough. It just started coming, and I'm like, and it's a lot. And believe me, I left a lot of shit out. Like,
and it's like I said, speaking your part on it, we've already on our School Hard episode, we spoke on what kind of happened, where I was at it, and I still kind of, just to say that part of mine with Revamped and stuff. Yeah, I do have a trademark for it and all of that stuff, but I've chosen not to push the issue because it is excessive. I'm not getting a lawyer and getting a cease and desist letter sent to somebody and stuff right now at this time, because it's not that dramatic. To like, me and other Buffy podcasters have spoken on this in our private DMs and stuff. Like, we feel like she will be her own undoing in the end. The things that I believe in with the universe, I think that she will be called to action in that type of way, and it will all karmically, without being cliche, circle back around and whip her into shape the way that it needs to be done. And I personally don't think she'll finish her podcast. If she does, it'll take years and years and years, but I think at some point it'll go away and disappear, and I won't have to worry about it anymore. I haven't felt called to action. If I, as a person and what I practice, have ever felt like I needed to get something done, do something, however, whatever, I initiated. I have no problems in that. I have not felt called to act in that way. I feel like it's a waste of my time. So I haven't made that a upstanding principle of like something I directly need to deal with at this time. Like I said, I also just have this inkling, and I've heard it from other people without me telling them my inkling, that she will be her own undoing, and whatever's been trying to catch up with her is eventually going to be running side by side and then overplow her and knock her ass down type thing. So
I mean, it's already kind of happened. It's like everything you did. That's the thing that made me go like laugh. It's just like look what you did. Like, you didn't have to do, and everybody saw. Like, everybody saw it happen, and like people talked about it. And now that's a stain on you. She don't understand like how these things work. She doesn't understand the modern internet age. That's it. That's part of your permanent record now. Because now when people Google you, this will come up. It didn't have to be that way. You know what I mean? Like, you did this. Like my shit with her. I love that my shit with her, when this all started coming out with your show, that my shit wasn't even discussed. 'Cause I'm like, I thought I was going to be the feature where everybody's going to be like, where I was kind of an afterthought. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm sorry this happened to you, but you know what I mean? I'm saying it's going to have to be talked about that I'm not in the show anymore. Like, it's going to have to be addressed. I'm going to have to address it. I'm not going to lie.
And you shouldn't. You should not.
I'm going to lie for you. And it's just like, you know, I would have been quiet about it. I would have just said nothing. But since you want to be an asshole.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, look, I don't want to be associated with this anymore. You know what I mean? I don't want to. The quicker I get out, the longer I'm associated with a sinking ship. Like, it's going down, like with or without me, and it's only gone. You could see the engagement. There's no engagement of the show, none. Like, we debuted in the top 20. They're not even getting in the hundreds, I don't think, of downloads per month. From crazy. In the tens of thousands. Like, I don't even think they're hitting 1,000 a month. I'd be surprised. I mean, like, that's a disaster. It's a disaster. And like, look, I mean, you could see their YouTube numbers. You could see like how even their interviews, they get nothing. They get nothing. Like, nobody watches it. And the best is it's that you can't leave comments because they set up as a child channel, because they think it's like, is this good for children? You know, when they ask you and you upload to YouTube, is this good for children? And she clicked that thinking, it's like, well, now it's children's content. You can't comment on it, you dope. Like, it's like,
why? Why would she do that?
She doesn't understand it. She yelled at me for putting subtitles on the video. It's like, you clicked on subtitles. Like, this is what I mean. It's just,
and that's where it gives me the vibe of the undoing thing. Like, it'll meet its end, or however what way it needs to, on their own behalf, with us out of the picture and not having anything to do with it or anything like that. I surrender that fully to the universe.
Brandon,
and just let
the Revamped is probably going to consistently be like, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
It's a good show. I mean, you guys have a good show. You're both amazing presenters. So it's like, I could hear, like, you know, just talking to you now, it's like, wow, they're more polished than I am. Jesus Christ.
Brandon is very professional when it comes to this. And since I've started my podcast, I podcasted first, but Brandon has had more structure in his podcast. And since I started my podcast that I have now, that I'm like very geeked up and passionate about. I've taken a lot of pointers from Brandon and how structured he is. And it's like, I think when you come to the table and you show up every time and you're prepared and you believe in your work and your content and you know that like you're just doing it as much for fun with the undertone of hope that it's going to go somewhere. You know what I mean? And then that's really all that matters. And I think that that within itself creates consistency, which, like you said in the beginning, is the key to success, especially in podcasting. If you don't show up, you don't have consistency, then you don't have content. And then there's nothing for the people who do love you to talk about with other people who don't know you yet and all these other things, you know? So it's like, basically, I'm saying I'm proud of you, Brandon. Good job for doing this podcast. But yeah, and he's super polished and he's awesome at this. So I have a lot of faith in this podcast. So I'm not worried about her in the slightest. Never have. Never have. It's annoying. It's very annoying to deal with, having someone who's this entitled steal your podcast name and think that like, oh, we should just shut the fuck up and not say anything kind of vibe is what I'm catching. But I think she's going to realize sooner or later it's basically the beginning of the end.
And that's why I feel about it. I have to say this because not too many really people know about it, but there's been times whenever like you told me, Courtney, to go make a Facebook page for the site because that helped draw in a lot of people that were just out there on that field that don't have Instagram or whatever. So I did as such. And whenever I did that, I tried to join like one of the most iconic, it's got like 46,000 or more people in a group of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's got the iconic 25th anniversary picture photo that they did where they're all in the Black and the Faux graveyard on the Entertainment Weekly set and stuff like that. As their profile icon. The group is just immense. It's one of the top ones performing on groups to join on Buffy fan groups Facebook. And I tried to join them under the Revamped page, and the people denied me and said, I'm sorry, on good faith, because Juliet Landau has a podcast named Revamped, we can't have you in here because that just doesn't seem like a good thing to be doing. And I was like, hold up. And I responded to them. I was like, I was actually here first. If you go like figure out and do a little research, I said a few things will pop up and you can read the full story on this. I was like, but
there's a whole Reddit forum.
This is the kind of stuff that I voiced to her in my message with her when I sent her an Instagram DM, to which we back and forth for a while before she just ultimately met me with blocking and ignoring me. I had discussed with her, this is going to cause problems because there's going to be those pools of people on the side of not caring about what people speak on or like what they care about or how I care about how people view me, whatever. It's going to cause confusion because two people can't have the same name, even if it's got a second half of a something. Mine says a rewatch podcast, yours says with Juliet Landau. Sure, that breaks it up and segments them so you're not just under the one title, but two Buffy podcasts speaking on the journey of Buffy and the show itself and titled the exact same name. You go to, people aren't going to type in every single time a rewatch podcast or with Juliet. They're going to type in Revamped, and whoever has the highest numbers, which might
it's a
pop
problem
out
for
for
her too,
and overshadow a small creator, which is what the Buffy fandom got mad about. The people that I'm friends with, the other podcasters, wanted to voice. They were like, "You're taking from a small creator," and that as a person that's already set up to have, a bigger platform, more of an audience base, people that look and crave your, stuff that you put out, because she does have a great following. You know what I mean? Like not just her, every other person, Charisma, everybody else that still does the show and keeps up with it. It's like a hot cesspool for that energy. People will suck it up real quick because they love seeing their favorite characters and actors still out here living in this universe. But for me to be rejected from a group because of that, I got really upset over it. And I don't care if I'm in the group or not, but it's just the context. This is what I discussed with you and said was going to happen and the adversity I was going to face. And now it has started to happen to me. And that made me mad because I was like, I don't want this kind of a consistent annoyance coming up. It's where I can't even join a Facebook group.
It indirectly attaches to you and our podcast then too, because of what's happened. So it's just like, it's kind of tainted, and not completely, but there's a stain on the situation that we didn't create. And that's why it's unfair. Especially because we're just starting out, we're smaller creators, we don't work in Hollywood, we weren't on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
So we get pushed into a diminished background, and that's what annoys me more than anything, because when people search that's what's going to come up. But it is what it is, and those are the cons part of it. The pro, just in the time frame, it hasn't helped me since. Every now and again a little random person will sneak through the cracks, but whenever that first happened, for 3 days I gained 150 followers on the Instagram page, and people, because somebody went and wrote on Reddit the whole little
were
Reddit post that
talking
we've all
about.
commented
Yeah.
on and stuff. Somebody, that a random
Mhm.
fandom person that I don't even know, wrote out that page and made
Made
that
that.
Reddit
Yeah.
forum for people to start talking in. And I didn't even know it was a thing. I got it sent to me and I was like, what the fuck? And then other people started posting stuff on their pages and it just came out in this weird way. And I was like, okay, so the pro part of this is I got a little bit of attention from it, and that's what was the best part from
Mhm.
my side of things, because it put a little bit of a spotlight for a little bit on our podcast, and just also has content out there now, so when people source it out, they get the truth. And this is a big follow-up and kind of almost like a culminated end of the cycle for that, getting voiced out and talked about, is that can kind of bring that all to a close and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
And I think the good thing is you can visually see on Spotify or wherever the hell she has her podcast, especially Frank, if you're saying that you're seeing the episodes that you showed up in are kind of disappearing. Eventually, she's going to make it so it's obvious that our podcast existed before hers. And so there's no ifs, ands, or buts. The receipts are there in the podcast like platform or whatever you're using. So whatever.
Bizarre. It's just, it really is crazy. And this is why one of the reasons I hated the film business was like it was very backbitey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and this is the kind of shit I escaped from, because it's like I love content creation because the space is just filled with a lot of supportive people, like who are generally good people, like more so in any branch of entertainment I've worked in. It's like, wow, there's really supportive people who are really looking out for each other and help each other out. And
I love the
vibe.
community of
I
people
love the
that I
fucking
found
vibe.
that are that, especially just all related to Buffy, because then it's like the cherry on top of the cupcake.
And you have this entitled elitist just saying, I'll just do what the fuck I want, because that old-fashioned Hollywood mentality. I just want to tell one little quick story before I forget, because it's just too good. This is when I really felt embarrassed for her. We did these sketches every week, which were a pain in the ass, man. She didn't. Here's the funny thing: all the editorial notes you'd think with like those produced, like audio drama, like produced segments, I get a lot of notes on. Never really much, except for one where I got some notes on. One of these bits was a parody of the Three's Company theme. You know, the song, come and knock on my door, come and knock on my door. And she had dumb parody lyrics that she wrote. I never wrote these. I was like, ugh, because I also thought the jokes were cringy. But whatever, that's just my thing. So it's a duet, but it's a staggered duet. I sing, come and knock on my door, then the girl part is come and knock on my door, and so on and so forth. So naturally, you're doing a song parody. I put my voice first, because it's the guy's voice, then the girl's voice. Then the guy. I get a text. Why is your voice first? And I didn't know what she was talking about. And I was just like, for what? The song parody. Why'd you put your voice first?
Oh my God.
I'm like, well, it's because that's the way the song sounds. Can you just do it so I could hear it with my voice first? And now it's like, okay, that's just another. I have nothing better to do than to remix a fucking song.
I know.
And I do that, but I send her, here is a YouTube clip of the theme song, and I'm trying to make it sound just like that. I'm trying to emulate that.
Mm-hmm.
So I send her both those things, like saying, basically to say, are you fucking kidding me now? So at the end, she's like, how about this? You sing the first part in the first half, and then as a joke, I'll sing the first part in the second half. And that's how it wound up in the show. This is the level of person I'm dealing with.
I don't even know how you did it for so long.
Dude, I'm the patience of a saint. I do. I really, because listen, I've worked with talent.
And it's to your own detriment, Frank.
Yes.
And that's the problem. You have to approach that line faster, where you're like, I'm done with you now. This is the third straw, not the 33rd straw.
Yeah.
You know?
Listen, from your lips to God's ears, it's just like, I got to react a little bit faster on the next one.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. I mean, and that's why
I think you have probably a good ability to make an excuse for someone after you have like a little bit of care for them, and I get that, but it's like you gotta get to a place where you don't do that for as long as you do it, so that way you get to bow out and save yourself faster, because you got to look out for you at the end of the day, especially in this kind of industry. And I think you probably know that by now. You got to look out for you.
I agree. I have to learn everything the hard way, apparently multiple times, because It's just like,
That's all
apparently,
of us.
I just need calluses just carved into my skull. It's like, do not deal with this again. Just like, it's just crazy. It's just like every, like, like she could have been a walking, like, sentient red flag. And I would have been like, well, she seems all right.
You're like, come on into my life.
And this is my thing. I have a problem of telling the voice in my head that something's wrong to shut the fuck up.
You don't listen to your intuition very
I don't.
Yeah.
And don't do that. I've been in so many I've never been anything as hairy as this. I've been in some bad relationships. This is as bad as it's ever gotten, thankfully. I mean, I should have died a long time ago if this is... I should be in the basement carved up somewhere because it's really, I just walk in. Oh, candy. It's just like I'm the dumbest.
Oh my God. How have you made it through adulthood or into adulthood?
I'm in fucking regular yearly colonoscopy age. How the fuck am I still alive?
I don't even know.
Being this?
I'm surprised no one's like gotten you into a questionable white van.
It's crazy. I should be putting the lotion in the basket like somewhere.
I'm dead.
I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean,
I'm done.
At the same time, pride also was, I could handle this. It's like, you know, when you're in a bad relationship, like, listen, I had a bad relationship with an alcoholic once. And, you know, dumb man. Oh, those are fun. Oh, chef's kiss. Oh,
highly recommend.
Oh, I would. Oh, if you never have, boy, that's fun.
If you want additional trauma,
you want to walk on eggshells. If you want
your life to be an eggshell,
yeah, you want your whole life to be just one eggshell. That I guarantee you'll never be bored.
Neither will your therapist.
Yes. Oh.
Talk about some bad eggs.
But
Egbert.
You know, it's the gambler's fallacy, man. Gambler's fallacy. Well, anyway, I've taken too much of your time. I've literally sucked up. This is talk about narcissism. I sucked up your entire recording time. I am fucking, you know what?
Frank, you give me the opposite of narcissism vibes, so it is okay. Trust me, and it'll make for a good piece of content.
I think it's already good content.
Yeah, and this is good too because this is also given the time to go from literally January to 4.5 months later, or however. Yeah, because that was like literally the new year. Like this came in with the new year, the third day of the freaking new year. And now we've had time to sit to like really quote unquote fester in it, you specifically, and you've even tried to like you said, record this multiple times for your own sake, and it just hasn't been able to come out. And maybe this is because that's how the story was supposed to be told here and now in this way.
That's how we end this. I hijacked another person's show and then accuse another person of being a narcissist. That's a show that literally happened.
We're all happy you're here. All right, you guys. Well, that has been our impromptu recording of what we'll call our interview with Frank. You can catch our full coverage on Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered that we did the day after recording this interview and sitting down and talking about all the drama. I hope everyone enjoyed listening, getting the full clarity and context on the conversation that we had and just everything that happened and how we're still here, the one and only Revamped. Remember to join us next week for a new episode release as we continue our journey through Sunnydale. Until next time, the Earth is definitely doomed. This podcast is dedicated to the Buffyverse, to its fans, and my sister, Tiffany Dawn Pearson.